We need fairness. We need respectful wages, especially for the people at the bottom, and making some progress with that. They would right now like to give us 40 cents an hour and call that pay equity, and they're asking us to say pay equity is done, and we can't stomach that. That's not okay. There's some long-time workers here, and we really believe in what the public library does. Down on the streets, changing lives, literacy, employment, critical thinking, and we need recognition that what the workers do every day is really important, and it's vital to the library. The library can't run without us. And we are not asking for the moon, we just need a wage that we can live on.
Everybody else is celebrating 100 years of a really great institution, but the people are being left behind, and we just want to join in the celebration. So give us a reason to celebrate, please.
Very good. How are you?
One of the 40 that we came out to support. So it was myself and my colleague down there. Give them more money. Give them what they need. Library workers do not make an awful lot of money. In my opinion, it's only fair to give them what they're asking for. Or at least get back to the table and settle a contract.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, we're not deterring anybody. That's not the point of it. We just want support. The wage gap between library managers and exempt staff and library workers is huge and well documented. Their argument is those wages are market driven. Our wages are market driven as well. Comparisons to other library workers in Saskatoon show that we're 7 to 19% behind. I don't understand. You know, if I look at my earning power over the past 25 years, it's actually declined since I started. I'm one of the higher paid library workers, but we have many, many members who are really struggling with the wages that we've got.
We're told by our employers that we're valued. However, they don't put their money where their mouth is. But we deserve a fair wage.
There's library workers out here hoping they can have a contract. How do you feel about that?
Well, I understand the issues. I actually used to be on the library board, and so I know some of the issues, especially relating to the pages and their low wages that they make. So I'm certainly aware of the issues, and I think part of the problem with libraries is they're publicly funded institutions, and so that's, you know, you're dealing with limited pot of money to deal with, and that's what the struggle is making sure that libraries are well funded. Well, I hope that the government of the city and other levels of government that may be involved in funding libraries will step up to the plate and realize what a valuable institution this is for our community, and will fund it properly.
Well, we're utterly frustrated because the employer is not going to come back to the table, and we're trying to get a fair deal here for workers because we're the lowest paid library workers in the province, and we're looking for some equity. We're looking for some respect for the workers who are here every day for the citizens of Saskatoon. And they said they're not coming back to the table, so we're just trying to put a bit of pressure on and try to raise the issue with the public and show what's really going on with their public library. If you look at the big wage increases that the exempt staff, the managers, and the administrative staff have received over the past 5 years, you look at it the information is in public accounts through the City of Saskatoon, so it's freely available, and you look at the huge increases they've received over the past 5 years, and if they can find the money for that, then why can't they find the money for the frontline workers, the people who are really putting out the service for the citizens of Saskatoon? Well, the best thing that citizens can be doing is to write City Council, copy to the library board, because City Council needs to know that those letters are going to the library board. If they go directly to the library board without the city, council may not see those. So we need to make sure that people are writing to the board, writing to City Council and copying to the board rather, and also copying to the union, because we really like to get those letters of support, and putting pressure on from the people who are actually using this service. We have one of the best library services in Canada, bar none. You just look at our level of participation in the city, and we want to support the workers who are the ones who've been putting out all that effort for the people of Saskatoon. I'm very, very proud of our 250 members. We raised over $4,000 for Station 20 West, and that's largely coming from people who make $10 an hour all on part-time jobs with virtually no benefits. And they were willing to put out for the community, for Station 20 West. So these are people who have a vested interest in this community and making this a very important part of the civic services that we're also proud of in Saskatoon.
I'm the president of the Saskatoon District Labour Council, and I think it's important that library workers know that other unions and other union activists are behind them in their fight for a fair wage. We all know what's happened with the cost of living, and I think it's terrible that you would actually have a legislated minimum wage that would provide you an increase rather than your wage that was provided with a union contract by an employer that has a better reputation than that. And to include that, I guess, as part of a wage settlement, that really was a legislated mandate of the government, and I think that these guys need to do better. They need to do better for their workers. They have lots of loyal employees here. They have loyal customers here. And we need to bring them up to a standard where they can afford to live in the city and participate in their community. So that's why we're here, to show solidarity with these workers. They should demonstrate exemplary behaviors for employers, that when they're publicly funded and it's an accessible service for the public, that they have to also provide a decent standard of living for their employees.
It's a puzzle to me. I think actually that library workers aren't valued the way that they should be, and this library service is not valued the way it should be. I'm as a musician, I use the library a lot. And also, as just a member of the general public, this is probably my favorite building. So I've received a lot of help over the years from library workers on the different projects that I've done. And I think that it's a service that just hasn't been valued. Somehow the library board has got it in their heads that these are people who we can get as cheap as possible. And we're not caring about the service that they provide, the dedication that they bring to it, and the lifestyle that these people at the bottom end of the salary range are living. So I think really that the city's let us down here. That this is not the way that citizens should be treated, and certainly not the way that their workers should be treated. And they should be back at the table with a reasonable offer, not the kind of thing where minimum wage is what hikes up the wages at the library. That's not acceptable at all.
Actually, contract expired March 2010. The issues primarily are wages. We are very much underpaid for the jobs that we do. Historically, women get paid less than men, and this is a classic example of that. We need to stop that. We need to make sure that we pay people what they are worth, not because of gender. Well, the problem is when you start below everyone else, and percentage increases for everyone else becomes a percentage increase for us as well. But when you start below everyone else, our percentage is not as much as everyone else's percentage. So when they look at a model of 2%, for instance, a 2% across the street at City Hall is a lot more than a 2% here. It's again just an information picket, bringing awareness to the issue, bringing awareness to the terrible situation of library workers, and we want to get back to the table. We do want to bargain. Negotiations is important, and that's how you get a good collective agreement.